Okay, welcome to Unit 3, Lesson 2, Newton's first law again. Here we're going to be doing example 2. Now example 2 actually has 3 questions to it, so this is going to be example 2-1 by this new notation I just came up with. Alright, so 2-1, I should have drawn this diagram out before I started this video, but that's okay, it's going to be a pretty quick question anyways. So here we have an object, and it's got a couple forces acting on it. It's got F1 over to the left here. It's got F2 over to the right. And I'll give those a quick label. There's F2 is equal to 100 newtons. And F1 has 400 newtons. Okay. Now, this set of examples, these 3 example questions, it's introducing the idea of an equilibrant. Now, an equilibrant is a force that's going to make our net force 0. Okay, it's something we're going to be adding to the system to sort of cancel out any forces that we have going on. So we can see it's almost obvious in this first example. We have force 1 pulling 400 newtons to the left, force 2 pulling only 100 newtons to the right. And so we can do the we can do the net force value of this in our head, right? The force net on this object is equal to, well, 300 newtons left. We don't really need to do any formula work to determine that. The left is pulling harder, so this object will move left. The idea of the equilibrant is to add another force to this to counteract this net force so we can make this thing stop. Right, so I think we can, without again doing any math, we can probably see, well, if the net force is 300 to the left, all we have to do to counteract this is add another 300 to the right, then it will be 400 left, 400 right. Let's do a little bit of math, just so we can have a little bit of routine here. So, I'm going to start with a formula, and I'm going to say that we would like F net to be 0. Alright, so for equilibrant is going to be another force, and in the equilibrant we want F net to equal 0. So what are we going to do? Well, let's write out our F net formula. F net is going to equal F1 plus F2 plus F3. I'm going to call my F3 my force of equilibrant. You can just call it F3 if you'd like, but notation, as long as you're specific in your answers, I don't really care what you put for notation, as long as it's clear what you're conveying. Okay, well, in this new universe with the equilibrant value, F net is nothing, right? This equilibrant force is going to make the F net value 0. So let's start with 0 for F net. Is going to equal force 1. Well, in this case, I'm going to have left is negative, right is positive. So this is going to be negative 400 newtons plus 100 newtons. All right, here's our F2 plus the force equilibrant. Okay, well, we can just rearrange this, and we do some plug-in, and we will say this is what 400 goes to positive minus 100. Force equilibrant will equal 300 newtons right. Just as we predicted over here, right? If we add another force EQ equals 300 newtons, this will now be 400 left, 400 right. This situation will be at, new term for you, static equilibrium, meaning it won't be speeding up and it won't be slowing down in either direction. All right, that's all there is for this one.